Crimping is a jewelry making basic, and in this beading lesson we'll talk about everything you need to know to make a perfect crimp every time. Now the difference between crimps are there are some that are round like a seed bead and some that are cylindrical. Now the cylindrical style I typically use for attaching a clasp because it has more surface contact with your beading wire. The crimp bead is great for illusion designs or other places where you want the crimp to be less obtrusive in the design. You can also hide it using a crimp cover, and this is a C-shaped bead and they come in different styles and metallic finishes, and they just slide right over the top of the crimp and you close them using a large crimping tool. Now that brings us to another issue. There are different sizes of tools. So the micro crimping tool works for the tiniest crimp beads and crimp tubes, number 0 crimp bead and a number 1 crimp tube. And these are all standard crimping tools. This is the basic standard size. This has a dual crimper in the tip here. So this works well for crimp tubes and beads that are from different brands so that you can get the perfect crimp every time. And this size is the same standard tip as the standard crimping tool, but it's that convenient pocket size so you can take it with you when you're beading on the go. And those work for the mid-range crimps. And the largest crimps require the largest tool. So with this mighty crimping tool, it has the larger indentations that work well with the largest size of crimp beads and crimp tubes. And you can also use that tool to close your crimp covers. So the way that crimping works is you take your beading wire and you slide a crimp onto the wire. Then you're going to do a bead, and this will just show you the illusion style. So I would crimp here by using the outer jaws to make an oval shape, and this is kind of a new take on the crimping technique. It's a 3-step process now. Then you move to the inner, and you're just making a crease, and then you move to the outer, and that folds it over and makes it a nice rounded shape. Then you can add your bead and add your next crimp. And that would be how you'd create your illusion design, and it works well to use a beading board to lay out your pattern. For attaching a clasp, it's the same idea. You take your crimp, you bring your clasp onto the wire, pass it through, and you want to make sure that your wires are exiting parallel from the crimp. Then you come in again with your 3 steps and you do the outer jaws just to make it oval, then move to the inner jaws to make your crease, and then do your outer jaws again, and that's going to fold and round it. And then I like to come back with the tool and kind of round it up. And you could also come in with your crimp cover here and just slide your C-shaped bead over the crimp and use your crimping tool to close it. That gives you a nice finished look. That's our beading lesson for today.